Hey everybody, what's going on? Today in the news, we received a story that Wilford Brimley, at age 85, passing away. Wilford Brimley was known for several things, particularly his role in advertisements, where he was a spokesman for both Quaker Oats and Liberty Mutual. We'll talk about the numerology of his death in this video and how it relates primarily to the planet Venus, which rules over Libra, the sign that Wilford Brimley was born under. For starters, we look at the date that Wilford Brimley passed away, August 1st. This date is written 8/1 here in the United States. And 81 is the ordinal gematria of Venus. Notice how in reduction, Venus also sums to 18. Most parts of this world write the date August 1st as 1/8. So on August 1st, we get the death of Wilford Brimley. And notice how his name sums to 81 in both full reduction and our reverse reduction cipher, which is built similarly, but with the alphabetic order reversed, Z through A. Brimley was born on September 27th, a very interesting date we'll look at more in a little bit. Measuring from his death to his next birthday is 8 weeks and 1 day, once again aligning with the date. I want to look again at this reduction gematria of Venus being 18. Well, if you take every number, 1 through 18, and add them together, you get a sum of 171. As we can see, this is the 18th triangular number. And in the standard alphabetic order, Wilford Brimley has a numeric value of 171. Now, perhaps this is a coincidence, but think about how Wilford Brimley is famously in those commercials talking about diabetes. But he's always pronounced it as diabetes. And I know there's been memes that have gone around about this. A lot of people make jokes in relation to his pronunciation. And I wasn't the only person to think that this would be the spelling of how he pronounced it, diabetes. And sure enough, Urban Dictionary has a little entry for this, says it started with Wilford Brimley. And when you type in diabetes, notice how this also sums to 81 in the alphabetic order. I'm also just noticing, look at this, 27, 54, and 135. These numbers are all found in the gematria of Venus, 27, 54, and 1035 in Jewish. On the left side of your screen, we're looking at the magic square of Venus. And all of the interior planets plus the moon and the sun have a magic square ranging from 3 to 9. And this magic square of Venus has a total of 49 squares in it. And check out the date of Wilford Brimley's death, August 1st, 2020, 8 plus 1 plus 20 plus 20, summing to 49. So we've established that Wilford Brimley, again, this man was a Libra. Libra ruled by the planet Venus. Now his Venusian age lines up nicely. Before I get into that, I want to mention how he died 309 days after his birthday, like the number 39 in numerology. The name Wilford equals 39, so does the name Brimley, 39 in standard reduction. But what's more interesting is his total age, 31,355 days. And yes, I'm working on getting this calculator on the website soon. But what I noticed about Wilford Brimley's age in Venus years, so if you look at the number of days Brimley lived on Earth, and in that time, how many times did Venus orbit the Sun? Well, we find it's 139 times. Now, this stood out because 139 is the 34th prime number. And Wilford Brimley was born in the year 34. Furthermore, he died 103 days before his next Venusian birthday. And the number 103, or 13 in numerology, is also very significant to this story. Brimley's full name was actually Anthony Wilford Brimley. Notice the satanic gematria of 1003. The disease that he helped promote awareness of, diabetes mellitus, this also has gematria of 103. Wow, how about this 176? Wilford Brimley died 1,076 days after the Great American Total Solar Eclipse. That's bizarre. But back to this 103, like Brimley's full name gematria, 1003. On the date he died, Wilford Brimley was 1,030 months old. Get the right date in there, still the right number. What I also noticed is that he died 1 year and 30 days after the most recent total eclipse. And if you include the end date, this is also 13 months. And in Jewish ordinal, total eclipse has that 130 gematria. On top of that, the life lesson number of the date he died, 8 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2, summing to 13. Now, this number 13 is significant to this passing for another reason. First of all, his real first name, Anthony, sums to 1,069. And I point this number out because 169 is 13 squared. His middle name, Wilford, also 1069 in Jewish gematria. Brimley was born in the state of Utah. He also died in the state of Utah. And of course, Utah is home to the Mormon Church, also known as, formerly, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And a couple weeks ago, I made a video on the death of a Phillies pitcher in a plane crash, and I talked about how that, as well as the deaths of Corey Lidle and Roy Halladay, two other previous Phillies pitchers to also die in plane crashes, all of their deaths were aligned with the Mormon Church. And look at that, the Mormon Church in 176 nations. We just mentioned this number. Diabetes mellitus, 176. We're going to have to look at this age, too, in a little bit. So the Mormon Church in Utah and the gematria of their formal name, look at this, 169 in reduction. Now, with the S exception, the most common method, which is the same as full reduction with just the S exception, notice how this sums to 214, and Wilford Brimley dying on the 214th day of a leap year. As far as the 227 in reverse, this is the 49th prime number, tying us once again back to the date numerology. 49, the date on which he died. Now, 227 in Jewish ordinal, also the gematria of the Society of Jesus, the Jesuit order, certainly arm in arm with the Mormon Church. And not only do we get this 227 Jewish ordinal value here, but also in 1811. And I want to talk about why this number really stands out in light of this ritual. And this has to do with the last total lunar eclipse, which fell exactly 18 months and 11 days before Wilford Brimley died. Now, why would I measure to the last total lunar eclipse? Well, checking out the Gematria of Anthony Wilford Brimley, in a cipher called Frank Baconus, which is the standard alphabetic order, but also using capital letters interspersed with the small letters, Anthony Wilford Brimley gives us this value of 533. Now, this number is also closely linked to the number 13, and this is because of the prime factors of 533, which is 13 times 41. And 41 is the 13th prime number. In Jewish gematria, the phrase lunar eclipse sums to 533. Now, if we instead measure from Brimley's death to the next total lunar eclipse, notice we get a span of exactly 299 days. And it just so happens that Anthony Wilford Brimley sums to 299 in the reverse alphabetic order. All right, guys, that'll do it for this decode. Thanks for popping in. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Everything here is free to share, and all are encouraged to do so, as YouTube's algorithms have removed me from their from their recommended lists long, long ago. All right, guys, peace, love, God bless. Talk to you next time. See ya.